Shares of Fluence Energy, which provides lithium-ion battery energy storage, is rising as a few firms initiate coverage on a bullish note. Evercore gave it an outperform at a $47 price target, calling Fluence a must-own in the energy storage sector. Shares of Fluence are up about 4% since their October 28th debut. Joining me now to discuss is James West. He's an analyst at Evercore ISI. James, it's great to have you. Welcome.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
I mean, there's more and more battery names to trade these days. Is that right? How many roughly would you say exist? And are there a lot more coming?
Well, there's definitely more coming, and there's half a dozen to a dozen that exist today, but there's not very many energy storage names. So Fluence is different in that they're in the energy storage business. There's really a scarcity value on companies like Fluence.
How do they store? I mean, is energy storage the same as giant batteries, or walk me through this?
So it is similar. They're actually battery agnostic. So they provide the infrastructure, they provide the software and the hardware, and they take batteries and power stored in those batteries, and then they release the power back into the grid.
Is this all utility level? In other words, are they the ones who are working behind the scenes to make sure that, when the sun shines and the wind blows, that can all be stored somewhere to use when those are not happening?
That's absolutely correct. They do work with the utility scale, but also do smaller scale projects as well. But on the utility side, that's the key, because they are the keystone and the three pillars of the energy transition. They're the ones that allow grid resiliency.
Yes, and they're the ones that would probably solve all of the price spikes we're solving right now. My understanding, though, is it's really hard to store a lot of power for a long period of time without it being extremely expensive.
It is. The costs are coming down for batteries, but right now a lithium-ion battery can store power for about 4 hours. So we are coming up with newer and better techniques in the battery side, and we expect a lot of progress there to get up to probably 10 to 12 hours in the next couple of years.
So the stock, how attractive is it to you? And what would you advise investors who want exposure to this space, but, everyone wants to know what the next Tesla is going to be?
Sure. Well, actually, Tesla's one of their main competitors here, but we think Fluence has a ton of upside from here. This is our favorite in the battery and battery storage space right now.
How can they compete with Tesla in the long run?
Well, I think long run, they're still going to be a force because they're backed by AES and Siemens. They were a joint venture originally. Now they're their own standalone public company, but they have strong backers. They have strong demand, and most customers say that they have the best product in the market.
Your bull case is $62 a share. What would be the key catalyst to anticipate here?
I think if they got to profitability faster than expected, I think would go from a revenue growth story to actual profitable growth story faster, and that would probably drive the valuation higher.